The New Orleans Saints took an interesting approach to the 2020 NFL Draft. After their second third-round pick, they had no more selections in the draft as they traded the rest of those picks away in order to move up back into the third round. Now, they were able to grab Tommy Stevens out of Mississippi State, the quarterback, after trading away a 2021 pick, so it was obvious that they had specific players in mind when they made these selections. Getting center Cesar Ruiz out of Michigan, who can play and will play guard for New Orleans, gives them a rock-solid starter in year one. I also like the Zack Baun selection out of Wisconsin. This dude is a blur at the second level and has A+ athleticism. He pursues the ball very well, taking great angles to it. He can rush the passer. He plays effective in zone and man coverage. The Saints added a playmaker in round 3 and one that should have a huge impact for their defense this season. Another third-round rookie that should have a huge impact, this time is on the offensive side of the ball. It's tight end Adam Trautman out of Dayton. Now, Trautman runs great routes like a wide receiver, and down at the Reese's Senior Bowl this past January against top-level competition, he still proved to be a really difficult matchup for linebackers and safeties. And with Trautman, Sean Payton finally gets the threat at tight end he really hasn't had since Jimmy Graham. I believe he'll thrive in this Saints offense. You can tell a lot about a player by how well he plays without the ball, and Marquez Callaway out of Tennessee plays the same way with or without the ball coming his way. He's a great team player who's got good all-around game. A lot of what he does is very DeAndre Hopkins-like at the position. He also brings good special teams value to the table. I think he has a strong chance to make the Saints roster. So does Joe Bachie out of Michigan State. I swear, he is unfazed by blockers around him and does a great job of slipping blocks to make the play. He's one of the best one-on-one tacklers in the draft, one who doesn't miss many opportunities to bring down the ball carrier. Keith Washington out of West Virginia had an excellent week of work at the East-West Shrine Bowl. He was able to show how good of a cover corner he was in man after primarily playing zone back at West Virginia. He does a really good job in driving on the ball and shows the active hands to be considered a nuisance at the position. And wide receiver Jawan Johnson reminds me a lot of former Saint wide receiver Brandon Coleman. He's a big physical wideout who can play outside or can play inside and does have potential to grow into a flex tight end down the line. He'll give the Saints offense another versatile matchup weapon in the passing game. I gave the Saints a B for their draft. They got some really good year one impact players in Ruiz, Baun, and Trautman, while also landing some undrafted free agents at key positions of emphasis like wide receiver and also cornerback.